Hello and good afternoon. It is September 6th, 2023, and you are listening to the Kanawha Valley Hustlers podcast. My name is Joe Justice, and I am the Kanawha Valley Hustler. Just one of many, as we always like to feature lots of guests that do all kinds of things here in the Kanawha Valley, and we are always excited to bring them to you. Hope that you are having a wonderful time. Hope that everything is going well back from now that we're back to work. I want to remind you that coming up here real soon, we have got in just a couple weeks, September 19th, we are going to be doing the Up Next Charlie West Professional Development Series. I'm going to be doing my presentation on marketing secrets for savvy spins. We're going to be talking about the unfortunate truth that a lot of marketing, there's kind of a lot of deception and mischief in the marketing industry, and there's lots of times where people buy advertising or buy marketing services and they don't really understand if they're getting any return for it, and they don't really know if they're getting anything out of it. And I want to help everybody out with that. So if you check out the comments, check out the links, check out the descriptions, you will see a link to that event that's going to be coming up. It's the Professional Development Series with Up Next Charlie West, and it is Marketing Secrets for a Savvy Spend. I hope you get a chance to join me with that, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I'm really, really looking forward to it. So to come with you today, I want to talk about something that I've been, kind of looking into here lately, and it's on the topic of productivity. And it's a big question that I think a lot of people really need to take a little bit of time to ask themselves. And the simple idea is this: are you being busy or are you being productive? Those are not the same thing. I notice lots and lots of people really fall into that busy category, but not into the productive category. Let me give you a really simple explanation for busy versus productive. So let's take a look. If somebody is, let's say somebody's job is to dig ditches on a construction site. There's basically two ways to do it. One way is hammer, shovel, pick, axe, cutting through roots, digging down through the holes, using the shovel is going to take you hours and hours and hours and hours worth of work. Or you could get a backhoe and you just dig it down, and in 2 minutes you can do what would take you an hour or two to do by hand. Now, in one case, the guy with the shovel and the pickaxe and the maul and all that kind of stuff, that guy is very, very busy. As a matter of fact, he's working very, very hard for several hours. That's a lot of work. The other guy, the guy with the backhoe, that guy is productive. And that's the difference between being busy and being productive. People fall into the trap of thinking that because they're doing something like shoveling dirt that they're being productive, but that's not really true. Being productive is actually getting things done. And I want to give you some examples of being busy versus being productive and understanding the difference, because you might very well fall into this whole trap of being busy versus being productive. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to focus on being productive, not on being busy. So one really common one is email management. Do you ever find yourself spending tons of time checking your emails, organizing your emails, as soon as an email comes in, you reply to it. As soon as they arrive, you do whatever the email says to do? That's being busy. A more productive schedule is setting a time. More productive system is setting a time and designating it to respond to those emails. Now, why is that? Why is that overall? What you would think that being productive would be answering those emails right away, but that's just simply not true. Because as soon as you get those emails and as soon as you jump on that, then whatever it was that you were doing, you've just lost all of your attention. You've just lost everything, and as soon as you're going to answer that email, you're going to come back and you're going to be starting from scratch. You're not going to be able to be productive, not seriously productive, unless you're just doing mindless chores, like you're cleaning up or, doing, digging a hole like I was just talking about, something that's totally mindless that doesn't require any kind of creative energy, then every time you break from doing that, you're losing productivity. So, but you are busy, and a lot of times people feel like they're being productive by answering those emails right away, but they're not. You need to focus on maximizing your focus and maximizing your attention, because your attention is very short, and you really need to pay attention to what you pay attention to, because what you pay attention to is what really matters. One of the huge productivity sucks that people run into all the time, man, and this is a big one. Everyone, pay attention, lean in, turn the volume up, is meetings. People attend meeting after meeting after meeting, thinking that they're being productive because they're busy. They're doing these meetings, but are the meetings productive? Are they accomplishing anything? Or are you just going from meeting to meeting to meeting and checking that off as something that you've done, therefore you're productive? Well, I set in 6 hours worth of meetings today, so I must have had a full schedule, so I did a good job. But did you accomplish anything? Did you do anything? Were any decisions made? Did you figure out what your next steps were? Did you assign goals? Did you assign next steps to the other people that are in the meeting with you? How many other people wasted their time in that meeting? How many people were in that meeting that they could have just gotten an email later on that day that kind of gave them a recap or things like that? So that's the ultimate example of being busy versus being productive. Meetings, for the most part, are largely unproductive. They're not very good uses of time, and they're not very good time management. My rule of thumb when it comes to meetings is if you have a complicated decision, then you need a meeting. So if you're at the point where you have a meeting where something has to be determined that's not clear cut, it's like, what's better, A or B, or what color should we go with, red or blue? There's no clear answer to that. Then that's a great time to have a meeting, because then you can get everybody together, all the decision makers in the room, and everybody can weigh in and decide on whether they want to be green or blue. But if you're just figuring out what the next steps are, that can be an email, and that can be solved real quickly, and get that email, put it on the schedule, and get it done. Task list, creating tasks and organizing tasks, that's a really easy trap to fall into. When you start making like your to-do list and you spend, 6 hours making your to-do list, but you never actually get anything done on your to-do list. How many people fall into that trap? People fall into that trap all the time. And they're not actually being productive. It feels like they're being productive because they're being busy, but they're not being productive. They're doing a bunch of things, which is really just writing a bunch of things down, and they're organizing. And yeah, that's, fair enough. They're making some progress, but it's not really being productive. Being productive is actually getting things ticked off that list. So if all you're doing is spending all day making lists and spending tons of time making lists, then you're not being productive. That's not a productive use of time. And speaking of productive use of time, multitasking. Multitasking is horribly inefficient because humans, we fool ourselves into thinking that we can multitask. So a lot of times we will divert our attention to something else instead of what we should be doing. And that's another verse. You feel like you're getting 2 or 3 things done, but you're really not. You're just doing 2 or 3 things poorly. Instead of doing one thing really well, you're doing 3 things poorly. And that's not a good use of time. That is very counterproductive, and that is not productive at all. So you need to focus on setting your schedule, setting your intentions, defining your spaces, when you're going to do this, when you're going to do that, and make sure that everything that you're doing has a purpose that moves towards a goal, that moves towards an aim. That's what you're going to want to do to maximize productivity and to achieve productivity versus being busy. Because what you end up with when you do a lot of these things, when you do a lot of these meaningless meetings, you do a lot of multitasking where you're trying to do 2 or 3 things at a time. You're doing a lot of organizing where you're trying to make everything just right, just perfect before you get started. You're jumping on emails as soon as they come in. What you're doing is you're not doing any focused, deep work. You're not getting purposeful, deep work done. That means that you're not being productive, and that means that you're not going to achieve your goals in the long run. And that's really what you want to do. So make sure that rather than being busy, focus on being productive and getting the things done that you need to get done. I hope that you found this helpful today. I hope that you have an opportunity to use this in your own life. Drop me a message, send me a comment. Let me know what kind of challenges you have with being busy versus being productive. Or are there any pet peeves? Do you have any coworkers or friends of yours that are really bad about doing a certain type of non-productive busy work that you want to highlight, send give my attention. I would love to see them. Would love to hear from you guys on that type of stuff. Thank you so much for watching today. It's great to be back with you. We're into the fall season now, and moving forward, I am excited because fall's just around the corner. The air is going to start getting cooler. It's going to be great. I want to remind you about the Up Next Charlie West Professional Development Series that's going to be coming up on September 19th. I'm going to be the special speaker there. My presentation is on marketing secrets for the savvy spend. I will put the comment in the description and I'll put the link in the description and the comments so that you can come join me for that. That's going to be all about people that have, whenever you work with an agency, whether it's advertising agency, marketing agency, or any other kind of agency, people have a tendency of not knowing whether or not they're actually getting any benefit out of their ad spends, out of their product services, and I'm going to help you out with kind of a basic understanding of how to actually accomplish that. So I would love for you to come join me in that September 19th, and that's with the Up Next Charlie West and the Charleston Area Alliance. Thank you so much for watching today. Hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye for now.